It's 3:15, and that means it's time for
The Real Deal with Bill McNeil.
That's right. Welcome once again to The Real Deal with Bill McNeil. I'm your host, Bill McNeil, and you're probably wondering exactly what is the real deal today.
Hey, good question.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and I'm sure you've all heard by now, or you saw it in the title of the video. Marvel Comics is introducing their first gay Captain America in June within their United States of Captain America special series to commemorate the 80th anniversary of Captain America, written by Christopher Cantwell. Now, when they laid out what the premise of the comic book was, which is essentially Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, Sam Wilson, and John Walker going across America and meeting smaller level heroes that are inspired by Captain America, I figured we were going to get some character introductions and things like of this nature. You know, heroes inspired by Captain America, standing up and representing oppressed communities, marginalized people, things of that nature. This is the first one we've heard about. It makes sense. Obviously, June is Pride Month. We seem to have. Do we have a DC versus Marvel Pride Month arms race? You know, obviously DC came out with their DC Pride #1. Also, they're having a Crush and Lobo series coming out over at Marvel. We heard about Marvel Voices, Pride Month, which we pretty much assumed was coming. And they also have now introduced, or they're introducing their first gay Captain America. Now, I do want to point out, I think there are some opportunities missed, and the fact that the character's sexuality is likely to gobble up all the headlines rather than exactly what he's representing. I think it's a missed opportunity. A little bit sad. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. So we do know a little bit about the character. His name is Aaron Fisher, and he is the Captain America of the Railways. I hope that is not the name of the actual. I hope that is not his superhero name, because that is ridiculous. Are we going to have a Captain America of the bridges? Maybe a Captain America of the seaways? Or, an interstate Captain America. It's kind of a silly name. I'm hoping and praying that he will actually get a real superhero name rather than just the Captain America of Railways. And you can certainly see by the character design, he is inspired by Captain America himself. A lot of elements from Captain America's uniforms over the years. I do think the design is not optimal in the fact that it is going to be mocked quite a bit. The character does have a pretty shitty haircut. He's also wearing a neckerchief or possibly an ascot. Probably not the best additions to the character's design, in my opinion. But obviously, the creators are very proud of this character, and they do go into a little bit about him. This thought-provoking exploration of Captain America's impact will kick off with writer Joshua Trujillo and artist John Bazulia, and the debut of Aaron Fisher, the Captain America of the Railways, a fearless teen who stepped up to protect fellow runaways and the unhoused. Marvel Comics is proud to honor Pride Month with the rise of this new LGBTQ plus hero. And they do give some stats here. This is from the Games Radar Newsarama article. Youth.gov estimates that 20 to 40% of unhoused runaways identify as LGBTQ+, while young people who are Black and Indigenous experience disproportionate levels of homelessness. Additionally, LGBTQ+ aid organizations True Colors United states the LGBTQ+ youth are up to 120% more likely to be runaways or experience homelessness than others. Well, those are terrible numbers, and that breaks my heart. I'm very fortunate that I've never really experienced homelessness in my life, and these numbers that they give are, like I said, they're heartbreaking. But there's other things about the homeless community that I'm going to get into that I think this is going to end up being, a missed opportunity, in my opinion. But before, not the best character design. I think I imagine if you were, I was never a gay youth, but I imagine if I were a gay youth growing up wanting to experience a Captain America of my own, the Captain America of the Railways might not be the Captain America I was hoping for. Certainly not with an ascot and an embarrassing haircut. So I don't know that this is the Captain America the gay community had always hoped for, but it is the one they are getting. And I've seen through social media, there are a lot of people that are very happy about this. And we'll get into that. There's a couple of tweets that I think hit this right on the head, and then I'll get into why it's unfortunate. This is going to drive a lot of headlines, and they're already out there. Marvel Comics introduces a gay Captain America for June 2021. Marvel's newest Captain America is an LGBTQ plus activist. Marvel introduces an LGBTQ plus cap in the United States of Captain America. Marvel reveals new LGBTQ hero Captain America of the Railways. Not a whole lot being said about his battle against homelessness and the oppressed youths that are in that situation. Unfortunately, of course, it's all being drowned out by the fact that the character is gay and it's associated with Captain America. Now, this obviously, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I think this is meant to garner an emotional response for some people, get a little bit of outrage going, possibly provoke people. Me personally, I'm not going to get, if there's a new character that identifies with Captain America and happens to be an LGBTQ plus hero, okay, that's great. It doesn't really bother me. It does bother me that it's completely washing out what the character is actually, the community that the character is standing up for and fighting for. And I'll get to that in a minute because it is important to me. Now, I do think there's a couple of tweets that I saw that I think kind of hit it right on the head. Well, one of the tweets hits it on the head. Another one I think just completely gets the Marvel universe wrong. And I'll get to that here. So here's the first tweet. This is just from some random person. DC, here's a Pride special. And tomorrow we're going to get into NFTs. Marvel, here's our Pride special and variants featuring actual queer characters in a series by a trans woman and a gay Captain America. Mic drop. In DC's defense, they are certainly going to have Pride covers for the month of June. Not all queer characters, but certainly long-standing DC characters embracing Pride Month, and of course also queer characters as well. And then, of course, at the bottom, he had to get some more virtue signal in. As long as Marvel doesn't get into NFTs, they're winning. The NFT thing is ridiculous. I do have an expert kind of lined up, and I'm going to get into that, but obviously not what this video is about. But I believe this right here kind of gets into it. We're into an arms race. Who's going to outdo the other? Which comic publisher can we affirm is more legitimately behind LGBTQ plus characters and supporting Pride Month? And I think that's what we're kind of getting into. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what the publishers want to do, that's what they want to do. It's unfortunate. It's probably going to, like I said, drown out the purpose of some of these characters, which probably and likely goes beyond just the sexuality of the characters. Now, interesting enough, this is from one of the creators. I believe this is from Joshua Trujillo. He says, I am happy to be able to present an openly gay person who admires Captain America. So the character has to be openly gay, admire Captain America, and fights against evil to help those who are almost invisible to society. That's crazy, because you think about, there are a lot of openly gay characters in the Marvel universe. Hulkling and Wiccan are obviously openly gay characters. They're they're married to each other. Do we believe that they don't admire Captain America and what he has represented in the annals of the Marvel Comics universe? I imagine they probably do. And I believe that they probably fight evil to help those who are invisible to society. Now, they might not be at the railways helping the homeless exactly, but they have been fighting evil and saving the galaxy. America Chavez. Do we believe that character does not openly admire Captain America? She appears to be more inspired by Captain America than Miss America, the character who I believe they say that she took her moniker from. She seems to be Miss America Chavez seems to be much more inspired by Captain America to me. And she was essentially Captain America when she kind of came out. When I say came out, I don't mean like she came out of the closet. I mean, when she came onto the scene as a new Marvel Comics character. I mean, there are some other characters out there: North Star, Vivian, Iceman. Are we to believe that those openly gay characters don't admire Captain America? And if they do admire Captain America, that they haven't been fighting evil to help those who are invisible to society? Perhaps they're not directly helping the homeless, but they are helping everybody. They are fighting evil and things like that. So the idea that there's never been an openly gay character that admires Captain America and fights evil in the Marvel Comics universe is absurd. And obviously, that's kind of one of the quotes that Out Magazine's running with. Now, that kind of gets us into what the character represents. And here we go. Aaron is inspired by heroes of the queer community, activist leaders, and everyday folks pushing for a better life. This is from Trujillo. He stands for the oppressed and the forgotten. I hope his debut story resonates with readers and helps inspire the next generation of heroes. Specifically, he's helping homeless people, and he's the Captain America of the railways. There's a disproportionate amount of homeless people that are military veterans, and specifically war veterans. They've come back with invisible wounds and have a very difficult time readjusting into society. Obviously, I am a retired military person. That's something that resonates with me. And I imagine this character probably fights for them too, but you'll never hear them say that because the headline is that he's a gay character and he's fighting for gay use. And of course they put in the minority statistics there. So he's fighting for minorities in LGBTQ plus homeless. Well, there's also a lot of military veterans. We've been at war for over 20 years now. It's tragic. It's terrible what's happened to our military vets when they come back. Now it can be very difficult to reassimilate back into life after experiencing things like that. It's a little bit disappointing that they don't mention that he's looking out for them and maybe fighting for them as well, since they've been out on this homeless. There's so many disabled veterans homeless, have a mental illness. A disproportionate amount of homeless people have mental illness. Does not mention that anywhere as far as the statistics or what this character, the Captain America of the Railways, is fighting for. But certainly if he's fighting for the homeless in America, he's fighting for a large amount of people that have mental illness. And I hope and pray that they all get the treatment they desire or need, and they find the peace in their lives, and hopefully get accepted back, with their families and get back to where they were before they became homeless. Now, obviously, some people are homeless because they had to get away, but it's not always the case. Now, also, when I was in the military, I had a mentor who was a very awesome person. They were a senior master sergeant. I believe they made chief before I retired. And this person had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. Now, they were able to continue serving, and I believe they're retired now, but they might not quite have retired yet. And you're like, wow, not wow, but a military service member with TBI. I know what happened to them. They were in a roadside bombing or something like that. No, that's not what happened. I was talking to my mentor, we become friendly over time, and I noticed some things about memory, specifically some memory loss. And that's when they confided in me, like, well, I had a traumatic brain injury. And we were talking, and I knew a little bit about their military history. I was like, I didn't think that you were ever in Iraq or Afghanistan. And they're like, no, I wasn't. That's not how I got my TBI. I was like, you must have been in some type of car accident or something. I'm like, no. And then they proceeded to tell me the story. And there was a homeless family that was actually under a bridge. I know I made a bridge joke earlier, but they were living under a bridge. It was a mother and I believe her 2 young children. And she was physically abused, and I believe the children were as well. And they had escaped and were homeless, escaping the domestic abuse that the mother and the children were experiencing. And my mentor was bringing this family food a couple of times a week, gather up food, would take it to them under the bridge, and try and talk to this family and make sure that they were okay, and see if they could get them the help that they needed. One day she went out to help this family, this homeless family that was a victim of domestic abuse. She obviously didn't know who the father was. As she was approaching to bring them food, apparently the father had been monitoring the family to see if anyone was helping them. Once they discovered who was helping them, proceeded to walk up behind my mentor and pistol whip them, almost murdering them, and thus causing a traumatic brain injury and some memory loss issues and things of that nature, essentially for the rest of their life. So there are a lot of people that are homeless that could use a Captain America of the Railways, whether they're LGBTQ plus, openly gay, trans, whatever. I don't think anybody in that situation really cares at that point. I think a lot of people would really like help, and I think there are some other people, maybe that aren't in the best sorts as far as their mental state that maybe want to be left alone. And that's unfortunate. And that part does make me really sad. But so this kind of makes me sad. There's an opportunity here. This character actually represents something that's really, really important. That is a major issue around America that could be addressed. But of course, when you read the press release and they cite the stats, it's only got to be about the character's sexuality. It's only be that they're representing and supporting, minority characters or minority people in those communities. But there are a lot of people in those communities that need help, and it's unfortunate that, of course, because I don't know. Am I right on this? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. I'm a cynical person by nature, but it feels like this character was probably created so they could get headlines in Forbes and Hollywood Reporter and Verge and all these places. Oh, there's a gay Captain America. Well, that's fine that there's a gay Captain America. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I think it's pandering. But there's a really cool aspect of what the character's doing. And it's completely, it's no one's even going to talk about it. There's real issues with homelessness. And certainly real issues as far as the homeless community and our war veterans and the people that have served and put themselves out there on the line. And they're victims of domestic abuse that this hero would be protecting. And actually, I wouldn't mind to see a street level Captain America of the Railways protecting homeless people. I don't know if I wanted it ongoing, but like a miniseries or something would be cool. I would like to see something shine a light on a lot of the issues that we do have with homelessness and all the things surrounding them. But because I believe the cynical nature in me certainly plays into this of what they're trying to get. They were just trying to get the headline that there's a gay Captain America, but there's a really cool underlining thing that they probably should be leading with, of what this Captain America not only represents as far as the sexuality of the character, but who they're protecting and how we can all help them. So I imagine some people are going to take the bait from all the headlines. They're going to get, outraged. They're going to get provoked. I certainly take the bait from time to time. This kind of stuff doesn't really. I guess some people were not happy with my response to the DC Pride #1. I imagine this is a character that Captain America is going to meet, and we probably won't see again. And that's too bad because it sounds like the mission that they have is pretty cool. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. There is a gay Captain America. He's a Captain America of the Railways. I don't imagine that is the Captain America most people had in mind, but that's Captain America you're getting. And truthfully, it represents a cool mission, and it could be something special, but it's going to be drowned out by headlines. And likely a lot of people just won't even check it out because they think it's pandering rather than seeing that underneath it all, there's actually something really cool and important to come and discover potentially. Whether it's going to be executed well, I can't tell you that, but there's a lot of potential here. It's all going to be drowned out. No one's ever going to talk about it, and that's unfortunate.